It is a new day, and my oh my, the challenge that myself and Mariki have just gone through is without a doubt one of the toughest things I've ever had to do in my life, and I'm sure I can say the same for her. Probably the toughest because you have no control. You literally, your life is in other people's hands, literally. Yeah, it was a hell of a thing. I'm still coming to grips with a lot of what has happened. A lot to digest, a lot to realize. I'll share a little bit of info with you in this insert, which will probably be shorter. But I'm really hoping that while we've been gone, because it's been a while, that Brahm has delivered, and I'm expecting to go and see a vehicle that is very close to driving out of East Coast Scratch and Dent. That's what I'm expecting to see. So yeah, quite exciting. Before we get to Meraai, let me give a quick summary of what happened in the last couple of weeks. I checked into hospital the afternoon of the 28th and was then paid visits by my anaesthetist, physiotherapist, ICU nurses and the cardiothoracic surgeon who was doing the operation, and my cardiologist. Next morning I was first into theatre. Surgery lasted around 4 hours and went well. However, then, according to reports, a few hours later my heart stopped and I needed a jump start. Thankfully, the team stabilized me. 3 days in ICU, then I was wheeled back into the general cardio ward where a lavish feast was laid on for me. I was shown how to wear this brace that will stop my chest from popping open. A few days later, Mariki and I headed back to our home in Leisure Bay. It is now 10 days since I had the open heart surgery. Right, let's put aside this detour of the last few weeks and get down to the real business at hand. Finishing our crossover overland motorhome. Finishing Meraai. I am being chauffeured around by my Engelme Lief, and we have not come to blows yet. The last time we chatted was 2 weeks ago, and as so much has happened, it is unbelievable. So this is the first foray to East Coast Scratch and Dent. I'm not allowed to drive for 6 weeks, and we're just very keen to see what is going on there, and to drop off what I have here, which is part of the dashboard, which Merc and I picked up yesterday, and yeah, just see what the boys are up to. But quite a bit of catching up to do, we hope. I am really excited. While I was away, Brahm sent a few pics through. It looks as though the wheel arches have been installed, the doors to all the compartments painted and installed, and the bull bar complete. I'm looking forward to seeing a shiny, glossy black set of braces on our Meraai. Brahm also sent quite a few pics of the dashboard's progress. If, as these pics show, the dash should already be installed, or at least have all the switches and gauges mounted. The bit of dash I have with me is Smooth's latest offering and is the panel that fits between the dash and the windscreen. It was crazy driving into East Coast Scratch and Dent. When I left for my surgery, Brahm said I would see a massive difference when I returned. I felt guilty, well, just a bit, having Mariki carrying the cumbersome dash panel. But for a few weeks, that's the way it has to be.
Hello, hello.
Lekker. Glad to see you up.
You in the same place as when I left you?
I was laughing, but it was far from being funny. The driver's cab components that I expected to be installed laid on the ground. The dashboard was far from complete, and Nikki was doing stuff on the dash that I presumed would have been done over a week ago. While the compartment doors on the passenger side are installed, they are not finalized, and the driver's side still needs to be installed. I felt physically ill when I saw how little progress had been made in the 2 weeks I was away. I really needed to lie down and get the hell away from what can only be described as one of the biggest disappointments I have ever experienced over the last 2 years and 7 months. Mariki and I had a chat with Bram and told him how concerned we were at the apparent lack of progress. Once again, we were assured that everything was on track, a story we have heard so many times. The next day I decided to pop in late afternoon to see what was happening at our stagnant build. The guys were working on the front door frames. Rubbing, sanding, slow and arduous work. All happening next to a driver's cab that looks months away from completion. Outside, the front doors are starting to look closer to being able to be painted. The bumper, which is also not complete, is getting its final smoothing out and prep work done for the paint shop. Our rear bumper is now in place, and our man off-grid Donald is busy installing the reverse sensors. Across the workshop, Bram is busy placing the heat shield material inside the engine cover. Once installed, if it is still a bit noisy, we can always add another layer. Better movement this afternoon. My new aortic valve was a little happier. Okay, this is the third time I'm walking back into East Coast Scratch and Dent post-op. First time was really cuck. Second time I felt a little bit better because I saw stuff was happening. So maybe this time these guys can even put a little smile on my face. Well, I damn well hope so. Oh, and my children are here because they are chauffeuring me around because I can't drive. So my drivers, bodyguards. My foray inside was pretty brief. Well, that was a very quick in and out, and I walked in and Bram gave me this. This is the front for our heating unit, and it's old and tacky and it looks caca. So what I'm going to do, there's a place called Sinorama, just going to go drop it off and ask these oaks to make us a decal that will make all of that stuff on the inside look nice. Busy, back on our feet, yeah baby. I left the heater face with the guys at Sinorama and headed back to our big girl. Back at East Coast Scratch and Dent, it's good to see the doors that were outside have been moved inside and they are looking all nice and shiny bright, ready to be painted and installed. Our man Talent is still rubbing and grinding away at the door frames. We are slowly edging ever closer to being able to install our remaining 2 doors. Each day that passes, I feel a bit stronger, but I'm also acutely aware that this healing will take time. It is Friday morning, exactly 1 week since I was discharged from hospital, and where I'm standing now is 350 meters from my gate, and I've got to walk 350 meters back, so I'm clipping a little 700 meter walk at this stage after a week. So I'm very happy with that sort of progress. Progress on Meraai, however, is a huge source of anxiety. As the week draws to a close, I took a final trip to East Coast Scratch and Dent with my pit bulls watching my back. Get close to me or push my heart rate up, these two will ruin your day for you.
Okay.
I slowly made my way towards Meraai. Talent was busy wrapping Meraai up, and I really hope that means we are close to starting to paint the door frames and all the remaining exposed primer. Only once that is done can we continue working on the nose and securing our bull bar, which is now at the paint shop and looking amazing. Even the muscle keeping an eye on me is impressed. Chris has made us a bull bar to behold. My ever-sharp protection squad also could not miss the fact that the dashboard was still not where it should be. And where the dash should be is still a huge mess. If Bram wants me to have a relaxed weekend, he needs to do something that will make me feel a lot better than I do right now. Making Meraai look like a blushing bride in her billowing white wedding gown is not nearly enough. I waited until Saturday morning for my last visit, and there had been some movement. The dash was still not where I was hoping it would be. The driver's door was in place, and Chris, with the help of Aubrey, was busy installing the passenger door. Our bull bar was also snuggling up to Merai's cute face, giving her that killer look. So things had moved, but far too slowly to give me any sense of confidence that we were close to completion. What is complete is our winner t-shirt competition. And the winner is Barent who guessed the 10th of April. Now, regardless of what happens, he was the last oak on the list, so no one can beat him. So Barent, I've left you a few messages. Please get in touch with me, but I need your postnet where you are, I need your cell number and your size t-shirt, and we can get your limited edition collector's item to you. A few days ago when I walked into East Coast Scratch and Dent, I was absolutely gutted and mortified. It was just not what we expected, but there has been movement, and it's movement in the right direction, and things are really looking awesome. I just really once again need to thank everybody. The messages, hundreds of messages from all around the world of support, prayers, goodwill. I mean, it means so much. Still not quite out of the woods, but nearly there, getting stronger by the day. But main focus now is what's going on behind me, and hopefully next week when we hook up, we've got a lot more spectacular things to show you, and I think it's time we started to hook everything up and to make that interior driver's cab look kick-ass. So yeah, until then, you know the rules. You must look after yourselves, you must look after your families, and you must really keep safe. Keep safe. Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You will find us under A Dream Called Meraai. Until next time, keep your dreams alive.